Hello, everyone. My name is Michael, and you're welcome to Sparkling. We're starting out a series on algebra, and this series is designed to walk you through from the basic concept of algebra to the advanced stage. I mean, like linear algebra and even abstract algebra. So maybe you're interested in data science, data analytics, machine learning in general, or maybe you just want to improve your math skill, or maybe you're just a math enthusiast like me. This is a good starting point for you because in this video, we are starting out with practice problems on the properties of algebra. But just before we go into the problem solving part, I think it makes sense to start with a basic overview on what algebra is all about before we start solving problems, right? So let's get into it. So algebra in its basic perspective is just a branch of math that uses symbols to represent numbers. And it also tells us the relationship between them. The symbols I mean could be your X and Y you always see in your math work. They ask you to find the value of X or they ask you to find the value of Y often. So let's get a picture of what this is so that we can have a good feel. For example, you could have X plus 5 equal to maybe 8 or 7. And here you could have X plus 5. Now, all of these are just algebraic statements. They are just algebraic statements. But you see, one is having the equality sign and the other is not having the equality sign. The one with the equality sign is called algebra equation, which you call algebraic equation. And the one without the equality sign is called algebra expression, or which you call algebraic expression. So with the algebra equation or the algebraic equation, you can actually get the value of the unknown variable. You can actually get the value of the unknown variable. For example, this is like asking you, what would you add? The x is an unknown variable, right? It's like, what would you add to 5 to get 7? It's quite easy. It's 2. Now, if I want to translate this algebraic equation to arithmetic, that would look something like this. Box plus 5 is equal to 7. They are just the same thing, but in different perspective. So this is arithmetic here, and here is algebra. So you know the answer is 2. But in the algebra case, you're going to do some little mathematics manipulation, like collecting like terms before you now find the value of x, which you're going to learn in this series. But this is just the basic form of it. So, like I said earlier, we're going to be solving problems on the properties of algebra in this very lesson. We have so many questions for you because we believe when you solve many questions, you kind of understand the concept clearly. So let's go into the very first question on the properties of algebra. All right. So 1 minute. Let me take out this from here. 1 minute. Perfect. Okay, so we have the very first question on the screen. It says, evaluate each using the values given. So we are having an algebraic expression. We want to evaluate the algebraic expression. You already know what is algebraic expression. Those algebra statement that has no equality sign. That is algebraic expression. So we're given an algebraic expression and they want us to evaluate them, giving some of the giving the values of the unknown variable. Now, for this one, for this particular first question, we have P plus 1 plus Q minus N. Of course, you know, this is an algebraic expression. Now, they want also evaluate this algebraic expression with the given values of the unknown variables, the P, the Q, and the N. Like you can see, the M is 1, and the P is 3, and the Q is 4. So we're going to replace these unknown variables with their right values, and then we'll now simplify them. So let's start out with P. P is 3, so you plug in 3 right here, and we have plus 1. Q is 4, we plug in 4 right here, and M is just 1, minus 1. So we have just replaced the variable with the given values. So how do you now start out with this simplification or the evaluation? You should remember PEMDAS. PEMDAS. This will help you a lot when you want to simplify algebraic problems or even arithmetics. The P here represents parentheses. You start out with the 1 in the parentheses. The E represents exponent. If you have stuff like this, 2 to the power 3 or 5 to the power 2, these are exponential expression. These are the next stage of your evaluation process. And then the M is multiplication. You're good with that. D is division, A is addition, and X is subtraction. And some of the times, if you have multiplication and division at the same time, maybe like this, for example, 30 divided by 10 times 2. How do you go about this? You can see we have multiplication first. Would you want to multiply 10 by 2? No. Multiplication and division, they are in the same grade level. So whenever they are happening at the same time, you want to take it from the left to the right. Okay, so for this particular problem, this is 30 divided by 10 times 2. So I'm going to take it from the left. So I'll do 30 divided by 10, that is 3, and 3 times 2 will give me 6. So this is just one of the difficult things that most students misinterpret when they simplify arithmetic problems or algebraic problems. So I'm sure you're good with that. But like I said, I never said this anyway. If you have question along the line, kindly put that in the comment section or kindly write us a mail to Sparkle and we're going to respond to you as soon as possible. So right now, let's go into simplify this all, guys. So we're going to start out with 3 plus 1. This is 4. 4 plus 4, this is 8. And 8 minus 1 is 7. So the answer to this problem is just 7. And all of this is the working. I hope it's clear. This is the very first question. I'm sure it's super easy. So let's go right on to the next question on our list. Question 2. Sorry, I might have to clear up the screen so that we can have a good writing space. Yeah. So we are moving on to the next question. We have a couple of them to solve, but we kind of go accordingly. So this is the next question, question 2. Okay, this is question 3. I think I took them in a random order. So this is the next question. You just take it as the next question. So look at this particular problem. We have P minus PQ over 6. Okay, this is an algebraic expression, and they still want us to simplify it using the values of P and the value of Q. So all you need to do is to what? Plug in the values and simplify. So P is 6, here becomes 6, and this guy becomes 6 because we have 6 right there, 6. And Q is 5. You know, PQ actually is P times Q. I think I need to tell you something about multiplication. Multiplication does two things. Multiplication does two things. If you're multiplying different variables like P times Q, all it does is just to combine them for you. So you get PQ. M times N, MN. K times L, KL. That's what it does when they are different. But when they are the same, maybe like P times P, then you want to now apply the principles of exponents. So that would be like P squared. Or maybe P times P times P times P. That would be like P cubed. You get it? This is multiplication. So when you see PQ, this is actually P times Q. So here we have P to be 6 and we have Q to be 5. So that's like 6 times 5 because Q is 5. All divided by 6. Perfect. So from here, you can go ahead and simplify. This is just 6 minus. You want to start out with the 1 in the bracket from the PEMDAS instruction. 6 times 5 is 30 over 6, right? And what is 30 divided by 6? That will give us 5. 30 divided by 6 is 5. So we have 5 groups of 6 in 30. So 6 minus 5, that will be 1. So the answer to this question is 1. I'm sure this is quite easy, right? So let's go to the next question. Question 5. Sorry, they are not in their right order. That is why the numbers are not in that order. Okay, sorry about that. So, okay, perfect. So now let's go on to the next question, which is question 5 right here. So we have question 5. It's C squared minus, in brackets, A minus 1. This is the algebraic expression we've got. And we want to simplify it using the values of these unknown variables. Now you can see C is 5, and A is just 3. So let's just plug them and simplify. So C is 5, this becomes 5 squared, minus A is 3, this becomes 3 minus 1. This is quite easy, right? So what is 5 squared? It's just like 5 times 5, not 5 times 2, please. 5 squared is 5 times 5. What is 5 cubed? That is 5 times 5 times 5. So this is 5 squared and this is 5 cubed. You can go on and on and on like that. So 5 squared is 5 times 5, and 5 times 5 will give us 25. You know, okay, actually, I should have start out with the 1 in the bracket, right? That is what you would say. So let's just follow that order. So this is 5 squared. And doing the 1 in the bracket, 3 minus 1 is 2. So we have 2 right here. Now, the next one is exponent from the PEMDAS. So 5 squared is 25. So we have 25. And 25 minus 2 will give us 23. So this is the answer to this question. 23 is the correct answer. So I think these are clear, right? If you have question, make sure you put it down in the comment section and we'll take it up from there. So let's go on to the next question. All right, I think we've moved past the next question. The next question should be question 7. Yeah, this is where we are, question 7. Okay, so we have question 7 to solve. We have 5j plus kh over 2 in brackets. Then that is all. So this is an algebraic expression, like I said earlier. Why? Because it does not have the equality sign. So this is algebraic expression. And we want to simplify this expression with the given values for the unknown variables. You can see the h is 5, j is 4, and k is 2. So now let's start out with replacing these variables with their right values. So we have 5. So 5j, what does 5j imply? 5 times j. Like I told you, multiplication does two things. When they are different, you just combine them together. But when they are the same, you start applying the principles of exponents or indices. So 5j is actually 5 times j. That's the relationship between 5 and j. Like I told you, algebra tells you the relationship between them. So the relationship between 5 and j is what? 5 times j. So when you now substitute the value of j, that's going to be like 5 times j. J is 4. Okay, somehow you can go ahead and write it like this, 5 and 4. This is still the same as multiplication, okay? But maybe let's write it this way. Other examples, we might take it the other way. So k is 2, and kh is 2 times h, right? So h is 5 again. That's 2 times 5, all over 2 in bracket, like this. So what is 5 times 4? Or you want to start out with the 1 in the bracket, no problem. So that will be 2 times 5 is 10, so we have 10 upon 2, and 5 times 4 is 20, like this. So now you want to now divide, because you cannot add these guys first, you want to divide. Yes, so following the principles of PEMDAS, you want to divide. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 20 plus 5 would be 25. Now, if 10 is not divisible by 2, then we can go ahead and add these two guys, making them have the same denominators, and then simplifying them. So this is what you learn in your arithmetic class before now. So if it's not, just imagine we're having 20 plus 5 upon 2. Maybe, for instance, what would you have done? Maybe you can go ahead and do 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. 20 plus 2.5 is 22.5. That's another way to go about it. Or you might solve this problem as a fraction. Okay? Make them have the same denominator and you simplify. So it all depends on how you've learned it from your arithmetic section. But the answer to this question is 25. So for this one, you're going to have 20 plus 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. And that will give us 22.5. If you want to take it that way. Or you can go ahead and do it this way. You see, we are doing so many things in this lesson. 5 divided by 2, this is over 1. 20 over 1 is the same as 20. So if I wanted to have the same denominator, the denominator here is 2. I can go ahead and multiply the 20 over 1 as 2 over 2. Because 2 over 2 is just 1. So if I multiply 1 by this guy, I haven't changed it. So 2 times 20 will give us 40, and 2 times 1 is 2, all plus 5 over 2. So 40 plus 5 is 45 over 2, and 45 over 2 give us 22.5. So that is the answer. We get the same answer, all the same. So if you're finding value from this video, please also let us know in the comment section. So let's move on to the next question. That will be question 8 or 11, as the case may be. Okay, question 9. So I think we can do question 9 and keep going in that way. And I have some for you to try as a practice test. Okay, so let's do question 9. Question 9, we have in brackets 4 minus p minus n, like this, all divided by 2. So you can see this is all divided by 2. Let me explain why. You can see this guy is starting out with a square bracket and is closing out with a square bracket. So it means all of this guy are just one group. So all divided by 2, that is what it means. Okay, so then we have plus q right here. The same problem, the same stuff. Just put in the value of n, the value of p, and the value of q, and then you substitute, and then you simplify or evaluate. So what is p? So here we've got 4 minus p is just 6, n is just 4, and here we have upon 2 plus q is just 6 again. Are you sure? Oh, P and Q are 6. Okay, that's correct. That's correct. So for me, what do you do next? You want to start out with the one in the bracket first. So that would be like 4 minus 6 minus 4 will give us 2, right? Perfect. All divided by 2 plus 6. And what is 4 minus 2? 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 plus 6. And what is 2 divided by 2? That is 1. 1 plus 6. What is 1 plus 6? That will give us 7. So the answer to this question is 7. Sorry. So that is it for that particular one. So our advice, if you're watching this video from this very point, now you've understood the procedures. Pause the video and try it out yourself. Then once you're done, you now play the video to see if the answer you got will be the same with the one I'm having here. Okay? So at this point right now, I would advise you to pause the video, try it out yourself, and then see if the answer you got is the same with the one we have here. Because by now you should be familiar with the whole procedure. Okay? So now let's go to work. Question 11 is right here on the screen. So we have m plus n plus m again. Now plus, you can see this particular one, n in bracket over 2 actually is n over 2. Okay? In your real math coursework or math workbook, everything will be properly typed. So you don't have to struggle with figuring out all of these things. But of course, it's just pretty easy to figure out. So the n is the only one on the numerator. That's why you can see the bracket around it. So n over 2 means just this way I've put them. So what do you do next? Put in the values of n and the values of n, and you simplify. M is 1 and n is 2. Right? So this is what we've got after substituting. So you want to divide. 2 divided by 2 is 1, right? And now 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 1 is 4, plus another 1 is 5. So the answer to this question is 5. So if you got 5, then you're good and you're doing very well. So that is how you're going to follow up through the whole process. Every time we have a new question, you pause the video, you solve it yourself, and then you play ahead to know if you got the same answer with me. I think that makes sense, right? Yeah. So let's go to the next question. And that is question 13. Question 13. So you can pause the video now and give it your best try. So while you're done, let's go to work. So here we have Q minus P minus Q minus 1 minus 3. And now we want to replace these unknown variables with the values given to them. which is 3 and 6. In this case, P is 3 and Q is 6. So let us just replace them and simplify. So here is going to be 6, P is going to be 3, Q is going to be 6 minus 1 and minus 3, like that. We are just done substituting the unknown variables with their proper values, right? So now what do you do next? You want to start out with the 1 in the bracket. That's what you want to do next. So here we have 6 minus 3 minus. 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. So we have 2 right here, like this. Now, you can easily remove the bracket because there's nothing you want to multiply with 2. So this is just the same as 6 minus 3 minus 2, like that. So what is 6 minus 3? 6 minus 3 is 3. And what is 3 minus 2? 3 minus 2 is 1. Simple. Did you get 1? Let me know in the comment section. Next question. Question 14. So you can pause the video from here and give it your best try. Question 14 is on the screen. And once you're done, you can come back and see if the answer you got is the same with the one we have in here. So let's go to question 14. So question 14, we have P plus, in bracket, Q minus R times 6 minus P. This one is good. You can see the more we keep going in the numbers of the question, the more the level of difficulty is increasing. Okay? But then every single thing is going to be explained is one step at a time. So now let's go over to this one. What's the first thing you want to do? No problem. It doesn't matter how the expression is looking, whether scary or not scary. We just put in the variable, the values, and we go ahead and simplify. So P is 6. Here we have 6. What is Q? Q is 5. What is R? R is 5. We have 6 here. What is P? P is 6. Then what's next? Simplify the ones in the bracket first from the principles of PEMDAS, the ones in the parentheses. So that becomes 6 plus, right? Q and R, they are both 5, right? Okay, yeah, I just want to confirm. So what is 5 minus 5? That is 0. What is 6 minus 6? That is 0. Perfect. Now, what do you do next? 0, when you see this kind of expression like this, what does it mean? This is multiplication. I mean, if you have something like 2 and 2, this is actually 2 times 2, which is 4. If you have something like 5 and 2, this is 5 times 2, which is 10. So when you have two brackets together, it's multiplication. You can even have it like this, 5 like this. It's still multiplication. This is still 5 times 2. So what do you see here? 0 times 0. And what is 0 times 0? That is just 0. And 6 plus 0 will give us 6. So the answer to this question is 6. Did you get it correctly? Let us know in the comment section. So we're moving on to the next question. Okay. So this is what we've got right now. Question 2. And let's do it together, after which you've solved it. So we have y squared plus y minus z. All you need to do is to just replace the variable with the unknown, replace the unknown variable with the numbers, right? So that will become y is already 5, so that is 5 squared plus with the PEMDAS. So you do the one with the exponent and then you keep moving. What is 5 squared? 5 squared is 25. And we have 25 plus 5 minus 1. Then addition, right? So 25 plus 5 will give us 30, and 30 minus 1 will give us 29. So that is the answer to this very question. And this is where we are going to be stopping today. We're going to leave you a series of practice problems on properties of algebra. So you go ahead and solve them and let us know if you have any problem. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next tutorial. Have a wonderful day and God bless you. Bye-bye.